project. It's the beginning of the year. You guys saw these projects on the wall. I'm going to show you the ones I've made as gifts. So this is a gift for the contest, for the QuiltCon contest on our 3 walls. So we have the Batik and Artisan Quilt Totes and More Facebook group. We have the Sew Along with Georgie Girl, and we have the K Facet Quilt Support Group. All 3 groups run the same contest at the same time. So I have 3 times as many gifts to make, but that's okay. I made most of them in Cave. So these are some of the planners that I made. So you can check them out. Not all the winners have been voted on, and I am not picking the winners. We have a group of people picking winners for me this time. But here's all of the wonderful Cave collective planners that I've done. Of course, this one is mine if you've been watching on the wall. I love Phillips feathers, so I did this. Okay, and then I did one Allison Glass. I am tinkering with Allison Glass right now, and I did a scrappy planner of Allison Glass. Okay, and a lot of people would ask me questions about how do you assemble your planners? What orders do you put them in? They just need some basic directions. So before I get into putting pages inside the planners, let me tell you my strategy. So I don't do an 18-month planner typically. I buy 18-month planners and I use them in calendar years. And what I do is I buy this kind of planner. I usually buy it around Christmas time. All of these planners went on clearance at Barnes & Noble, but I'm sure you can get them almost anywhere. Right now, the 18-month planners are, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months in. So they're freaking out trying to get rid of these planners, and they're great projects for us because the first thing I want is find a planner that has a scratchable or durable, soft outside. I don't want the slick kind because I need the Mod Podge and fabric to hold on and grip to something. So that's why I got kind of this linen feel planner. This cost me $3 at Barnes & Noble. It was originally $15. So I get this planner. The next thing that I do is I get just any old package that came in the mail. Of course, I took all the goodies out. And before I throw this away, this becomes the bottom of my glue board for the time that I'm doing these. I grab a piece of plastic, and usually it's a bigger piece of plastic. It's something, large. And I slide all the pages into it. So I take my pages, all right, and I'm going to slide it into the plastic. Because if you just cover the plastic like this over the paper, I can promise you, you just slide it in between before you glue. I can promise you somehow that glue is going to get to that paper. So I think I have a really, let me show you. So a plastic bag. So I'll take this plastic bag and I'll slide all my papers into it. Okay, now I've completely encased those pages. See that? There's no way there's glue getting on those pages. Then I fold this open and I've got it, okay, for my paper. Now I'm not going to glue this while you're sitting here, but I'm going to simulate it for you so you know what to do. There's 2 types of Mod Podge. Now I always get the big container. I use up my smaller container. I'm actually going to go to a smaller, there's a half size of this I'm actually going to buy because even at this size, I'm not using it up fast enough so it's getting chunky. So I'm going to refill into a smaller container and I use the matte. I do not use the shiny. I use the matte version of Mod Podge because I don't want it too shiny. It's already pretty shiny when I put it on there. So the first thing I do is I brush on the glue and I don't go to the edges quite yet because it's thick and I want the glue to kind of set for a second as I'm brushing. But by the time I start from here and I go all the way across, this side's pretty well set or starting to set, and then I brush it to the edges and I get completely around these edges, and then I come to this side and I brush it all the way to the edges. I've already pre-cut my panel of fabric that I want. So what I'll do is start on the one end and I'll lay it over there. I'll press it on in the middle and then press out the air bubbles towards the edges. Okay. Once I have that on there, it's tacky. Then I'm going to take this and fold it in half, and I'm going to press this on really well and get that formed. And then I'm going to unfold it again. I'm going to unfold it, and I'm going to set this down on the ground, the whole thing, and let it dry, or set it across on another table or wherever, just out of the way, and leave the plastic in there. And I even go around my fingers and I press the fabric around the edges to let it dry, just slightly around the edges of this. And then it takes about 2 hours to fully dry. Now, this feels like cloth, but from my personal calendar and a gift I have for one of the people on the wall, for these two, I didn't want the cloth feel, because I plan to throw this in and out of my purse a lot. And, you know, I get kind of, you know, aggressive with my calendars and toss them around on my desk. And so I don't want that fabric ripping. I also am nervous that I always have my coffee nearby, that I don't want my coffee spilling on the fabric and staining it. So if you want to do what I did and Mod Podge the outside of the fabric, you must let it dry for almost a day, and then you're going to come back, repeat this step of pouring the glue in the middle and brushing it towards the outside, and you'll have to take it up and actually lift it and tilt it and make sure you've got the entire surface so you don't have streaks of openings of areas of fabric that isn't covered with that Mod Podge. Okay, so this is extremely cool. This feels, can you hear that? It's not soft like this fabric. Okay, it's definitely got kind of that, you know, covered feel towards it. It's, you know, like a laminate almost, but it's got that softer feel than a laminate. And I mean, I think it's very edgy and cool feeling myself, because it feels kind of like linen, but it's protected, and that's the key. So that's the first thing you want to do. And then once it dries, I just open it up. I grab my handy dandy ruler, my Creative Groove ruler. I stick it in here, and I align this up with the edges, of course, right? And I use my rotary blade and I trim off that fabric. And I do that on all the insides. This is a cool calendar because it has rulers on the inside of the lids here. Isn't that cool? So if you're sitting there and you got to measure something, you just put your calendar down. But I trim all the edges all the way around. And if you want to, if it trims a little bit of the actual calendar itself, that's okay. Just so that you don't have any fabric hanging out and around. Okay, now let's talk about the inside of this calendar. On the inside of this calendar, this planner has a lot of cool stuff in it. It has checklists, it has appointments. But then I get to the actual August of 2018. Okay? So this is my calendar. I'm going to open it up for you. So now I've got these calendars, August, September, all the way through. Unless I want to reconstruct what happened last month and this month, I don't really care about creating a history of January, February. I didn't finish it. On my quilts moving forward as well as my kids' life. But a lot of times people ask me, well, how do you lay out the inside of these and how do you attach them? So what I've done is I put in the spiral so it's easier for us to look at pages that I think goes together, and you can download these from the Petty Fabric website. And I want to thank Karen and Laura both of them told me, and someone else might have also escaped me who, that my journals still say 2018. So some of the historical journal downloads, if you want to create a journal of a quilt you finished last year, go ahead and download those right now because they say 2018 on them. And we're going to add 2019 tomorrow. All right. And I'll show you what those look like. So let's go through this. In my planners, what I do is I print my patterns. So here's the Easy Sunday pattern. I print my patterns. And if I'm working on this quilt and it's going to be one of my quilts for the year, I attach it inside my planner. And I attach my instructions. Okay. So I have no problem putting these sideways. And then I just planner working. And I've got it with me because I always have my calendar with me. And I mean, it's so annoying when you get to go to a sew-along and you've left your pattern back at home. But if you're doing a major quilt for the year, like the Mediterranean or like the cathedral quilt, take that pattern and go ahead and attach it inside your planner. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you that you can buy these nice little pages. These are page pins. So you can get these at any Office Depot, and you could actually attach on the top of one of your planner the 2 page pins and put the entire quilt pattern in one page and just attach it to the top if you want to. If you're going to do that, then you're going to want to make sure that that page, you know, is reinforced with some kind of firm piece of paper. Do not print this on firm paper and then not have, you know, some kind of support behind it. So what I usually do is take a heavier construction type of paper and I put it underneath the bottom and I attach it to the bottom and the top, and then I put the flip pages on top, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, just ask me about that on the wall. So the first thing I do is I attach my major patterns that I'm making. And so I usually do 2 or 3 major quilts a year, meaning it's going to take me a while. Okay, and I attach those in here. I have the Mediterranean in here as well. So let's get on to these other inserts. So what I plan to do in my current planner, and I'm going to hold this forward for you. There are some pages that we did coordinating on the petting fabric wall, like these 2 pages. So I'm going to have my quilts up front and a pattern for, let's say, the Easy Sunday, like I did in this book. And then I'm going to have my quilt checklist. So this is the quilt checklist, and this is the quilt materials. And so I have my patterns in on one page. Then I take these 2 and print them out. They both match colorways. They're both orange. I think I have a gray version of these as well. And I put these as the next 2 pages behind the quilt that I'm doing. Now, how do I attach these? These 2 pages, I use Scotch. I'll show it to you in front of the thing. This is the adhesive roller. It's a scrapbook, a scrapping adhesive that I use for my scrapbooks. And it's, you know, like adhesive, but it rolls on. And I usually tack the top and the bottom, and then I just go across the middle. It holds on really, really nice. Okay, so I have both of these checklists. I always put that right behind my patterns because I need to know what I need to buy or thoughts I have as I plan my quilt, and I want to carry that with me. The other thing that I have somewhere in the beginning of my planner are sketches, because I don't fall out of your chair. This is a shock, I know, but I'm always redesigning the quilt, right? That's what I do. I find little shortcuts or whatever, and I will sketch changes. So I like to put 2 sheets of sketches in my planner. Now, if you want one of these planners, you're going to be getting from me, I'm looking for it. You're going to be getting from me some inserts. This is Allison Glass inserts, and they are sheets, that packs of sheets for sketches, which I think is super cool. And so I'm sending some of these to you guys in the planners. But this is a grid just to sketch out your designs. All right, so in the planner, what I like to do in my calendar is I will go in and I will get fun stickers like this, and I will put a sticker on each person's birthday in the family. Now, I will tell you that one year for Christmas, I made these planners and I put stickers on all the birthdays, and I sent this to relatives. And that way they couldn't forget grandkids' birthdays or anniversaries or any of those other important days, because I had pre-marked all the birthdays in the planner, and it was a huge success. So make sure that you have those as well and put those stickers in your planners. Okay. Sorry, I got off topic about sketches. So sketches, I'm going to get this grid paper from Allison Glass. It's a nice thick pad. And I'm going to grab some of these sheets and I'm going to put them in the planner. These happen to be downloaded from the Penny Fabric website. And I've got swatch notes on the top, and I'll have quilt notes on the top. Okay. Then what I like to put inside my planner is I got some other goodies in here. Okay. And this is my colorways. So this is a really great planner. Now this one is specific to a quilt. This was the Cave Mystery Quilt planner sheet for 2018, and we have one for 2019 for this summer sew along. So you can take this and journal this with the 2018 journal sheets, which I'm going to show you in a minute, or you can take the new one for the 19 and stick it on a page getting ready for the summer sew along. Now let's talk about that summer sew along super quick. Okay, a lot of you guys have told me that you're not real thrilled about the summer sew along quilt, and that's more of the intermediate sewers, and that's okay. I'm here to tell you that I've already picked out 2 patterns to go as an alternative to the summer sew along, and you're going to love the quilts. You're going to love them. And there's one more sheet I was looking for. I don't see it off the top of my flipping through here real quick, but there's another sheet, and it's called the journal sheet and a swatch sheet. So I would get your swatch sheets and your journal sheets and put them in here, because as you pick out swatches that you like, it's great to cut those swatches and put them in these journals and in your planner so you permanently have them with you. And like I said, if you don't want to permanently attach them to the planner, use those page pins and pin them to the top of a page and has several pages inside there. Just make sure you reinforce that page with a strong construction paper so that the page isn't super floppy. Okay, so that's our project of the week, which is a fun planner project.